So there's one piece left for the full functionality for our module, and that's to allow site admins or editors the ability to disable RSVP list collection per node. The checkbox will appear on the node add edit form, and to do this, we need to implement a hook form alter for the node form. When we add hooks to our module, we always put them in a file called .module. It is used extensively by module developers, and we've actually already used it earlier in the course. It performs alterations before a form is rendered. Many hook form alter implementations start off with a switch to determine which form you're working with, usually based on the form's ID. You can also implement hook form ID alter to target a specific form. This approach is generally the best practice, and you can read more about that at the API link on the screen. With that, you can modify any Drupal form. Remember, we changed the comment form earlier in the course. With this particular module, we're going to create an option so an editor can say, yes, collect RSVPs for this node or not. So here's the exercise in a nutshell. We're going to use form state interface to alter the node form, implement hook form node form alter, set the $node, $current node type, and $config variables, put the field set in a group of settings at the right of the form, move the checkbox to a separate field set by adding a second form sub element, and then utilize a custom service enabler to populate the form. It sounds like a lot. It's not that much work, so let's dive in. Here's what we actually need to do. Create a service to handle the database queries, is enabled. Check whether the node is the RSVP list enabled table. Check whether the node is in the RSVP list enabled table. Use the set enabled function to add the node to the RSVP list enabled table, or the del enabled function, which will remove the node from the RSVP list enabled table. So check to see if it is, set it as enabled if it isn't, and uncheck it if it is not supposed to be used. These are what's called wrapper functions. We'll define them in our .module file, and we use this to save time. We write the query once, and we can use it over and over. Keeps our code clutter-free. In your code, go ahead in the root of your RSVP list, create a new file called rsvplist.module. You already knew that, didn't you? Open it up and add the following. PHP. Let's put in our comments. At file. RSVP module hooks. Sorry about that. And then use Drupal /core /form state interface. So we'll use form state interface to manage the form object. All right, so once again, I'm going to throw the code up on the screen, and you can type it out. You'll want to double check every line. Let me explain before you do that what each line of the code is doing. Function RSVP list _ form _ node _ form _ alter. Hook form node form alter is replaced by RSVP list. We've talked about this before. Anytime you use a hook, you must replace the word hook with the name of your module. Ampersand $form, form state interface $form state, and $form ID. We've seen that before. $node equals $form state get form object get entity identifies the current node. Current node type will get the node type, and the configuration for this particular form is the Drupal config RSVP list.settings file. And then we grab the allowed types out of the array and put it into $types. If the current node type is in the array, then go ahead and grab the form, and then we'll display the RSVP collection fields and the RSVP list enabler with a checkbox that says go ahead and get the email addresses for this node. And then finally, if we're not previewing the node and the type of the button is a submit, go ahead and use the form node form submit hook to save our selections. All right, go ahead, pause the video, and type that up. In this last section then, we're going to add the form submission handler for RSVP item on the node form. If the form is selected, go ahead and set it as enabled. And if it's not, go ahead and delete it from the table. Remember, the table that we're using here is RSVP list enabled. And that's just going to say, is this node enabled or is it not? All right, go ahead and pause the video, type that up. Then I'm going to encourage you to double check your typing one more time by rewinding the video to this last section. Lastly, you'll note we don't close off the PHP in a .module file. That's by design. If you did that, it would break your code. All right, this isn't going to work until we create the RSVP list.enabler service. We'll do that in the next video. So go ahead and just save this and then move on.